All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Miss Blue Radio Show. I have my lovely guest host tonight, Callie Girl, MUA. Tell us how you're doing, Callie.
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself, Miss Blue?
I am doing pretty good. I can't complain other than my nose being real cold because it's cold outside. Um, I wanted to bring you on this discussion because I feel like you are very good with articulating yourself and good with politics as well.
Mhm.
And because I just want to get a different outlook. It's always great to have two views, even if they're the same.
Yes.
So tonight we're going to be talking about the death penalty. Should it be abolished? Because that's actually a law that they're fighting for behind the scenes. If people don't know, they're
Mhm.
trying to do away with it, but then they have some Congress people that's like, no, we still need the death penalty. So
Mhm.
I'll start with that first before we go into tonight's headliner. Do you feel like the death penalty should be abolished, or do we still need to have the death penalty?
Well, there's two sides of flip of every coin. I know that there's people that could commit heinous crimes. Like if somebody were to like set a family member of mine on fire, I mean, I'll be really irate. Or if they kill my baby, I mean, that makes you feel like a whole nother level. And
Right.
everybody's feelings and everybody else's like, is different. And, honestly, I think it should go with the punishment with the crime. You should go with what's the crime. If you take somebody's life, you know, you're taking your life, but you're spending your life in prison. Now, some people may be forgiving. I understand that.
Mhm.
But to me, it's very hurtful when people kill each other when they're alive, burning alive, or killing a child for that fact. And, it's like you want a person to suffer the way that you're going to be suffering for the rest of your life. And as I said, there's two flip sides of every coin. And to me, it's like it will depend if the the nature of the crime. But if it's a heinous crime, of course, they should not take that off the table, you know. But
Absolutely.
but if they do something, like something minor, or hey, spend the rest of your life in jail, that's fine. But if you do a heinous crime, killing somebody, taking somebody's life or their baby that's in their tummy, or anything in that matter, burning people, I mean, you know what you did. Obviously, you know what you've done because you wouldn't have done it in the first place. And if you commit this crime, then it should go with the punishment of the crime.
Absolutely. And Reddick says eye for an eye. Now,
Mm-hmm.
another comment that he says that makes a lot of good sense is, but does that make us like them? So I feel like with that, the eye for an eye, I feel like as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make us like them? I really don't think so because I'm like you, Callie. If someone kills someone, and the crime was just that horrible, I
Yeah.
do believe that they deserve the death penalty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some crimes that are committed that does not, maybe they shouldn't deserve the death penalty for the crime. But
Mm-hmm.
anytime it comes to murdering someone, especially purposely,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I think that you should get the death penalty.
Hands
Um,
down.
yeah, and I'm Christian and all that, but I do feel like an eye for an eye, and that's if anyone I love do a crime, I would have to explain to them that too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes karma has a way of finding you, and it's not always fair.
Oh yeah, it may not be in this life, but it's sure in the next life. Because as in the, I don't mean to bring religion into it, but one of God's laws is "Thou shalt not kill."
Hmm.
So that's been here for before the laws got put into place, and all these different things, But it's just I totally agree. An eye for an eye, and sometimes they should go by the verity of the crime that was committed, and then let them decide what's best for the punishment of the person.
And you know what? I totally agree with that. There are also laws where, when it comes to like the death penalty, there have been cases where they do not get the death penalty and they are released. And a lot of people don't even know that. Like I actually followed up because I
Hmm.
took law classes. I got my degree in that. I really should be like a lawyer or something. But there have been times where they don't even get the death penalty
Hmm.
for their crime, and they're living. behind bars, and they get to live while this person family member is killed, and they're not getting back. And sometimes I think, damn, like that was no justice for that family. Like, it's just not fair. One of the things that the politics that I saw on line, politicians were talking about Trump. Okay, so we know that he's getting out January 20th. He will no longer be the president of the United States, but he has so far been noted as the president who has signed the highest motions for the death penalty. So before a person can die or whatever by lethal injection, it goes to, I guess the president might be the last person to actually sign for it. Mm-hmm. And he signed over 13. No president has signed half as many as that. Now, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that he's just deliberately signing off to be malicious and mean? Or, do you think he has grounds to just say, yeah, you'll get the death penalty?
Well, right there, with the person that he is, it depends. We got to look at the way how he has performed as president. And, people may agree to disagree. Everybody has their own, opinions on things. But for a president that says that this whole COVID-19 is a hoax and got it, a president that hasn't, that divided America, in my opinion, to make America hate one another the way he has, I don't think he should be, signing off on that. Like, I think that, even though he has the authority to do that, but look at the decisions he made before. I mean, I wouldn't want to put somebody, like that to sign off on something like that. And I think, honestly, in my opinion, it should be up to the courts. It should be to the families that are being, hurt by the situation that takes place. There's a lot of court cases I have watched and seen that people ask for forgiveness or just to let that inmate go or make the inmate suffer, all these things. And honestly, I think it should be part of the court, the judge, and the family that's going to be affected by this. It's not going to affect the president. I mean, look, as I said, everything's political, and you don't want the wrong decision, the wrong person's hand like we had the last 4 years. So, I wouldn't put it past. I think it should be up to the families and the court judicial system to make those kind of points. Because, as I said, those are the people that are going to be hurting the most out of anybody. Or they might have a change of heart, say, no, what, get this person help. Let this person serve their life, but, we'll come to some kind of agreement to what's suitable punishment for this person that committed this heinous crime or crime against another person.
You know what? I agree with you on all those points because, like you stated, Trump has divided this country, nation, however you want to look at it. He has made racism okay. And we all know that it's not okay to just hate somebody for the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. I was born this way. I love me. It's not my fault that you don't approve of me or don't love me. Mm-hmm. But so I totally agree with that. And I think when it comes to him, I don't really like him. I don't like the fact that he gets to sign off on these death penalties because how he was so evil with the Central Park 5. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that story, but the guys, they call themselves the exonerated 5 because they got, dismissed of these charges, but they were grown when they got out. Most of them were grown and they had their life robbed from them. And yeah, they got money, but the psychological effect of what happened to them would never be changed. And he was the one that advocated for them to be locked up. And then when they got exonerated, he said he didn't care that they would still, if he had to do it again, he still do the same thing. And he was like, even with the evidence not matching theirs, he was still like, well, maybe they were running with the thugs or the people that did something. So it was just like, you know what? I can't trust everything he says. But one of the things we're here tonight for also is because the Brandon Bernard story. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're listening out there. If you did not hear about this story, you need to go read this story because it is so many loops. But I will start here, and I'm not gonna read everything, but just for my knowledge, Texas man Brandon Bernard, who was 40, was a federal inmate who was executed on December the 10th at a federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana. He was involved in the killing of two youth ministers, Todd and Stacy Bagley, in 1999 with a group of teenage boys. Bernard was convicted with four others over the killing of couple Todd and Stacy. His attorneys say he did not have a leading role in their murders, but this is what he did. So the other guys kidnapped them, put them in the trunk of a car, and Brandon Bernard was given a a match to strike and light and throw in this trunk by one of the guys, and he did it. And now he claimed that he was scared for his life. So Kim Kardashian, who's known for helping people get out of prison or shedding light on unfair prison sentences, was one of the people that was advocating very, she was going tough for this man to get out. Callie, with you knowing the story, first off, geez, how did you feel about that? Like he got the death penalty, right? And he was charged with the death penalty at the age of 18. So do you think that was too harsh, him being 18 and getting the death penalty?
No, I honestly don't, because he's an adult. He learned right from wrong from the gate. He knew what he was doing, and so did the whole group. You knew what you were doing before you went into it. You pre-planned it. And no matter how it goes, you're going to roll with it. Scared for your life or not. I mean, somebody will do it if they're scared for their life. But that's their choice to either take their life or the other people's life. It wasn't, to me, it's like, if that was, okay, if that was her family, she would raise hell. She was like, I want justice for my family. That was, my family members. I would, if that was somebody's daughter, son, mother, father. They were loved people. No one should be taken out like that, let alone shot in the head and being burned on fire. I'm sorry. That is not okay. And yes, they knew right from wrong from the gate. I knew right from wrong right when I was like in middle school, high school, because it's like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. But if you choose to do it, you took initiative on yourself to make those choices. So that's how I feel about that. Right from wrong from the gate.
Right. Absolutely. When I read that story, well, first off, I saw it on the news, and I was just like, "What the hell?" So I don't think it was a unfair sentencing myself. 18. I hate to see it happen. I absolutely hate to see it happen. But I guess they assume, because some of the people who committed this crime, they're gone. They got out.
They're out of prison.
But with him being the one who struck that match, who lighted that match, and pretty much that was the cause of them, like, their overall death. He got the hardest charge. And you kind of got to get into the mind of a narcissistic person and a criminal-minded person. I'm going to say anything I can to avoid getting the death penalty.
Of course.
A lot of them murder and say, I was terrified for my life. I mean, were you really terrified, or did you get caught doing something evil and it caught up to you, and you're having to pay that for that price?
I agree to that one.
And so should Kim, while I respect what she's trying to do, I would much rather her fight for people that are locked up in prison for real things that they have not done, because there are lots of black men, it's particularly locked up for some shit they did not ever do. They don't even have no evidence pointing toward them doing it, but you're rallying for
one person. I think she should stick to what she's doing and stay on TV rather than getting involved in like these kind of cases. She's better off to leave it alone. It's not her place to say save this person but not save that person that didn't commit the crime. You know what I mean? Everybody love, hates Kim Kardashian, whatever. But as a person with opinion, if you're going to save one person that committed a heinous crime that set that last breath of them burning to death, can you imagine yourself like burning to death?
I could not.
And it's a horrible way to go. And that's how she needs to reflect on it. If that was your family member, how would you feel? Would you rally for him to be let go? Would you, let others like suffer? As you said, there is a lot of people that are in jail right now. There are crimes that they did not commit. Why not fight for those people? And if they did a small crime, get them help. Get them, like
Right.
rehabilitated so they can come back into society, of course, with approval of doctors and whatever, and let them come back and give back to society, you know? But when it comes to people like that, I mean, why just that one person? You knew what he did, but you want him back. You want him to live the rest of his life, eating and sleeping every day when other people, family members suffered because of that? What is wrong with you? Seriously.
Yeah. No, I totally agree because it's kind of an insult to the family of those people, to the relatives. You don't know who they left behind, but everyone has some type of family. And
Yeah.
it's just like, is my family member life not that important?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a really big celebrity that's fighting for them. And I wasn't there, and I don't know if you really were scared for your life. And if you were scared for your life, right?
You could have not done it in the first place.
Right. Why? That's why I always talk to my kids, my young sons, about being the lookout guy. I didn't do it, but I drove them to the spot. Well, guess who ass gonna get the most time?
Mm-hmm.
My kid.
And that's good.
Drive your own car.
Mm-hmm.
Check people before they get in your car.
Exactly.
And let them know if they have any type of criminal activity on their mind, they not getting in your car. Because
Exactly.
you're going to be going to jail.
Yeah, it's not worth it, especially if they premeditated this thing, of knew what they're doing. Then you should have been scared for your life from then, because you knew it's gonna be a bad outcome. You make bad choices, there's gonna be a bad outcome. Flat, plain and simple. That's just how it is. It's just horrible.
Kim is fighting for prison reform. She says, I'm so messed up right now. This is an actual tweet from her. I'm so messed up right now. They killed Brandon. He was such a reformed person. So hopeful and positive until the end. More importantly, he is sorry. So sorry for the hurt and pain he has caused others. I'm so glad that you're sorry. I'm so glad that you realized at the very end that you were wrong for what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a God that forgives.
Yes.
But I also believe that this situation is not about him being black.
No.
I get so tired of sometimes that being the card that's pulled, the race card. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, if you're out there doing criminal activity, you can expect something like this. And because the system is not fair to particularly young black men, don't put yourself in situations like that.
Exactly.
I mean,
well, to me, it's like, I understand, she said how sympathetic he was. And of course, when a celebrity like her reaches out to somebody, of course they're going to say whatever they can to save their skin. But here's the thing. For her to put herself in a situation that has nothing to do with her, before she was even famous, probably before that time, I don't know. I never really know her business. But the thing is that for her to pick herself up and put herself in that position saying, he's sorry, and they're like, well, why don't you put yourself in the other family's shoe?
Right.
Why not help the victims of the family? Yeah, he may be sorry, but he's sorry he sure did get caught.
And another thing is, like, at this point, I feel like, and not just saying this to be rude, but I really want Kim to research more about criminal law.
I agree.
I would like to see her maybe, pick up a book and read about, how this thing works. I don't get to kill someone and then holler, I'm so sorry. I wish I didn't do that. I know better. I don't get to say that. In the real world, you get time. And even if those people were there, they served their time. For one, they served their time. It's not like they got to go. They actually served their time. But what I'm saying is, they basically gave him the most time because that was a fatal blow. They looked at it like these people would still be alive if he hadn't struck that match and set them on fire. God forbid.
It's a horrible thing to think about. It really is. And you're right. Maybe Kim should read a book and really read up and maybe reach on both sides of the fence, the victim and the people that commit the crime, and let her figure out herself, because it's one thing taking one side of something, but to not listen to the other side, that to me that's like you're not being open-minded about things. Just like how she reached out to Trump, the one person that's signing off on people's lives. He's not really thinking about what he's doing, and neither is she.
No.
And, it's not your choice and it's not the president's choice. As I said, it should be evolved in the courts, and that, I understand when there's crime being committed, and especially for somebody that didn't do it, that's the people you need to fight for. Those are the people that should matter the most, not people that take somebody's life. That's not their choice.
I
And
totally
it's a horrible
agree.
way.
Yeah, that's what I said, and I think that was when I first saw this, I was like, I got to talk about this on my show, because if I was a celebrity, I would fight for those people that are in prison and they did not commit these crimes. Those are the cases that's gonna catch my attention, and trying to shed light, like, hey, you never had proof in such and such that he did this. Those are the cases that I want. I'm not interested in the cases that she picks up. It's like, other than it was a couple of cases that shed light, and we were just like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool that she, shed light on that. But this one was so, I was really bothered, because I just don't get it. And like you said, some people feel like if someone kills someone, that we are being just like that person, but we're not. That's the reason why we have laws. Like, people need to know that this is what happens when you do this. Because if you have laws like this, it'll be like some people are so sick that they'll be like, oh, if I kill someone or I kill so and so, I'll get prison time for the rest of my life, but at least I'm still here. Some people really think messed up like that. You have to show people that this can happen to you.
And here's the thing is that you don't really know who they really are until you are with the person 24/7, or see how they think mentally. I think there's another thing you shared with me. I don't know if we're going to bring this up or not. The Borgeses, the Borgeses guy, how he was put to death because he killed his 2-year-old daughter. Now, let me get something straightened with you that really seems my broccoli. I'm a Virgo, so I'm going to go off on this one. Knowing me, of me and my family and everything, and I'm very sensitive, stuff like that. But this man said, due to intellectual disability, that's why I did what I did. Now, I have a son with autism, okay? Right. And he has a disability, okay? And if they knew, they should have presented that in court. And why try to put it into court before you're on that last couple weeks of being alive? They say he had an IQ of 70, 75, okay? But here's the thing. If he was that bad, he should have been claiming Social Security at a young age if it was proven. He would have gotten diagnosed, okay?
Right.
And another thing is, if you're involved with somebody like that and the parent knows, it's like, why am I going to have a baby with this person if they're having an intellectual disability? Now, I'm not here to judge anybody with disabilities. I'm just saying, don't throw out there that because due to intellectual disability that you're committing a crime, because that slaps right on the page of people like my son and so many other people that are affected that do have disabilities. That's going to smash mud all over them. And I'm not okay with that.
No, and it just goes back to just, we live in a really sick world.
And it keeps getting sicker.
The stuff that people make okay and rationalize in their head is just insane to me. That's why it's just like, when I see stories like that one, it's hard to really even say how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Because it's painful. Like you said, like you would do that to someone with especially a disability that shouldn't even been able to be brought up, honestly.
No, it should not.
That doesn't matter. You can't justify doing something messed up and just say, oh, it's because of this. I don't know what type of world people think we live in, but someone even said, karma rolls over to those we love as well. And I was late when I posted this one, but they also said, but he played a heavy hand in the Central Park Five too, which I said, not surprised. But just like falsely accused or being found innocent, the possibility of killing an innocent person is just as possible and has happened. Okay, so that's what me and you, that's what we were saying this whole time. It's just like, girl, fight for the guys that's really locked up for some stuff they didn't do.
Yeah.
If I hear one more story, I might have to, like, you can write fan mail to celebrities and just get them on the ball. Maybe I'll get to catch her live or something on Instagram and talk to her. Because I would like to see this good cause. She's doing an awesome job as far as wanting to help people, but not these type of people. It's hard to, even if it's a family member of mine, like, I'm going to pray for you. But I hate to say it, but karma, who said that karma was ever going to be fair? If you're killing someone, if you're doing messed up stuff, it's not. No one ever said it was going to come back to you, and be nice about it. I mean, you got to be careful how you treat people, and what you do to people.
That's like, as you said, I agree. She has to open a book and really look into full on details. Hey, if you're going to put yourself out there, you might as well look at the whole court thing that took place.
Facts.
What evidence was shown, how people felt, their testimonies. You need to live in that before you go out there and start sticking up for people that don't deserve to be stuck up for.
Deserve it. But I think the most unrealistic reason for her even trying to get this guy out was because he was 18 and he feared for his life, but he still threw the match. I'm sorry, but I mean, I would just rather you do whatever you're gonna do to me, because I'm not throwing the match in there. Like, what could you do? What, shoot them, kill? I mean, I know obviously he wasn't thinking about this, and like, he grew up, and so now it's up to God. God is the forgiver, but we have rules and we have laws while we're living on earth. And you have to think about that, because when you put it in some man's hands, they're not like God. They don't have to. They feel like, I don't have to forgive you. You know what I'm saying? But that was just wrong. I'm so sorry. I just don't. I really hated to. I look up on TV and see that. I was just like, I'm sorry, but I pray that he makes it to heaven. How about that? I'm glad that he realized what he did was really messed up. But
did you realize that before he got caught, or after? Right. It's like an eye for an eye.
I guess we'll find that out. But look, I have to wrap up the show because the next show is coming up, and I always thank you so much. Get ready for next month, because I'm going to bring you back on. I really like having you as a guest host. So
I love it.
Yes, I'm glad you love it. Thanks for joining me on this topic, and I wish you the best, and I'll talk to you a little bit after this.
Most definitely. Love you.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. To this.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
All right. Be blessed.